beautiful people. So wahala, welcome back to part 3 of my first time getting scammed in Nairobi. So where did we leave it at? If you're watching this, thank you so much for returning to watch part 3 of it. Please remember to comment, to like, to share, and to follow me for more things, stories, life, everything. So in this story, now we are in part 3. I hope this will be the last part I'll do, but let's see how this will go. So in this story, don't forget, we have 3 characters, and we said they are not their real names. So the first one is Mr. J. Mr. J is my friend who introduced me into the first business. You remember, END here. Wapili, we have Mr. Franco. So Mr. Franco is the person who assisted me to get an account, and he's part of the business already. And the third party is Mr. Willie. I'm the third person. He's Mr. Willie. So Mr. Willie is the person who was to join his team. You're seeing me izo au watu watatu tusisahau. So yes, so tulifika ile party I was supposed to go and meet up with Mr. Willie. So here comes Monday. It was on 28th. No, not on Monday. It was on a Saturday. Yes. So on Saturday, I was to go and see Mr. Awili. So I was supposed to go to town to their offices. So I prepare myself because we had agreed we were going to meet at 11 a.m. So in my mind, I'm expecting definitely he recalls this meet up. So I'm like, okay, I prepared myself. I did not call him from school. So I went to town, and I was arriving in town at around 11:45 a.m. And before you judge me, it's because of the Nairobi traffic, and also before the bus could get full. And now 11:45 a.m. I was getting inside their building. So that a short time ya kutembea up to their buildings. So please do not judge me. Yeah. So I arrived at their buildings at 11:45 a.m. So ukifika kwa their building, first kuna signing in. So there hapo kwa ground floor kuna signing in. So I signed in. You write your name, your signature, the time you have arrived, and also your ID number. But ID number is your choice, but the rest unaandika. So that's what I did, and also the floor you're going to. So I always knew Mr. Willie was on the 5th floor. So inside, I get into the elevator, I go up to the 5th floor. So when I reach the 5th floor, I tell myself, instead of surprising Mr. Willie suddenly in his office, why don't I call to see whether he is busy with some other people or he's alone? But I'm still like, I hope he recalls we already had an agreement or an appointment with him. So I try calling his number, but he does not pick up. So what I do is, you see on the 5th floor, kuna this part, acha niite reception. But the person who has sat there is like a watchman, the guards. Now one watchman was seated on that chair. So I like cordially approach him, I greet him, I say, hi, I've come to see Mr. Amos, and I would like you to let him know that I'm already here. Or is he in, so that I may just take myself to the office? And at first he looked shocked. He was like, you're here to see Mr. Amos? He even asked again, you're here to see Mr. Amos? I was like, yes. And he was like, so are you part of their business, or do you want to join? He started asking questions, and it made me feel like uncomfortable. I was like, okay, why are you asking this? But I was respectful. I was like, okay, I'm part of their business, and I was supposed to have an appointment with Mr. Awili. And so that's when I realized that when I was away, or now when I was away back at home, all hell had broken loose, and I was not aware of. So he tells me, do you know these people are scammers? I'm like, what do you mean they're scammers? He's like, everything about them is a lie. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes. So that's when I calm myself a bit down and tell myself, let me listen to what this man has to say. So we'll call the watchman. because I got his name, but I don't want to reveal his details here. So we'll just call him Mr. Alex. So Mr. Alex tells me, he's like, you know, these people are scammers. I'm like, okay, wait, are you for real? Because you never already put some money in. But he's like, yeah. So first, he tells me he does not know where Mr. Amos is and also his team. So remember this building, we had Mr. Franco and Mr. Willie and also others. Both Mr. Franco and Mr. Willie, they were on different floors and they had their own teams. So this Mr. Alex, now the watchman, was telling me that these people had not been paying rent. So they had already like they had left even their things over there. They had already left. As in they had already vacated the office, but their staffs were still there. And I was shocked. I was like, what? I was not even informed. The person I was to meet with had not even cared enough just to inform me they'd already vacated the office. And I was like, okay, here it is. And also, you see, when he was telling me about these people, now he started talking about them. He started giving me stories about them. I recalled a conversation one time we had with Mr. J, now my friend, when we were having lunch at a particular place. And I remember us kidding that what if these people are scammers? Why? Because many people go to their offices, but hawanagi the returns. They're not getting paid. These people spend money. As I once said, you spend money on food, transport, you know, sometimes even dressing when you want to attend the events. But now, like, you spend money on food and transport every day to come for their trainings, and remember, you are not getting paid. So I remember we had one time kidded with Mr. J. Right now when I'm seeing it, I'm like, it's not a joke anymore, ilikuwa ukweli. So this time now, since I've already come to town, now I'm talking to Mr. Alex the watchman, and he's like telling me stories. He's even telling me that some of these cars they used to post with on social media ama wanawatumia kwa WhatsApp, they were car for hires. Okay, I was very naive. What? Yes. And also hawakuwa wamelipa rent. So the rent of the building ilikuwa 20,000 shillings. That was the rent. And they had not paid rent, I think, for several months, because definitely huwezi fungiwa kani mara yako ya kwanza. See, the landlady ama the landlord atafeel mercy for you guys. So you see, so definitely it was not like their first time. And even he was telling me stories. Even Mr. Alex himself was telling me I'm not the first person to come and ask for them. Like, others had already come, wakaambiwa, people had cried on that floor, but I never had tears to cry. As in, I'd already been so much drained until I was like, mi hata hakuna kitu ya kulia. And also, if I had cried, my money wouldn't have come back. So I just put on a brave face. I was like, Mommy, we're doing this. We're gonna get through this. But upon only realized, as in, things had been wrong before. So he also told me they used to go to expensive restaurants to try and entice you guys that they have money. And you know what, ndo nikuja hapo nikafikiriaje, what if this money they were using to even go for these expensive restaurants was our money? So you remember it, I telling you guys that hizo tickets tulikuwa tunalipa, the tickets to events ulikuwa unalipa 6,000. Actually, most tickets to events ni 6,000. I think that 6,000 was to organize the event. One organized the event with your money. Yes. Miss Drika hizi mega events, hata kina these Kenyan celebrities wanaendaka pia wanalipaga those tickets that expensive. I don't know. Like, if Mungai, Jackie Matubia, Blessing Lungaho, you guys should tell us, do you pay this expensive for these events? Jumia was shocked. Me never knew. So now this is the time that I realized I'd been scammed, and it was not easy to process the news, but he told me like, so let me tell you now as we were speaking with Mr. Alex, I requested him, why don't you try calling Mr. Awili from his phone now, because I tried calling him from my phone and he was not picking my calls. So I was like, why don't you try calling Mr. Alex from your mobile phone? We see whether he'll pick up. the same case, his calls went unanswered. So wakati we're just busy here chit-chatting with this guy and him, now Mr. Alex, and Mr. Alex now letting me in, telling me how these guys were scammers, and also he told me a variety of stuff. As we're busy talking, there's a lady that comes. So this lady, tutamuita, because there's no lady in this story, as in she's the first lady to encounter, not the first one actually. There are many other ladies, but undo ako now part of the story. Tutamuita Miss Jennifer. Yes, Miss Jennifer, actually it's her name. So Miss Jennifer comes now to the reception, and when she comes, this time I'm pretty well dressed. At a CV, I'm pretty well dressed with a nice black hat that way. So at first she does not recognize me, but I clearly recall this lady was part of Mr. Willie's team. So I'm very eager to see Mr. Willie, because I'm like, this guy is equally nibeba ujinga kiasi hivi. So see, now Madam Jennifer has come. She has come to the reception. It's like she cannot recognize me at first. Jana kuja tu right to the reception, greets Mr. Alex, and like wants to see a particular person, and that's when she's informed so and so is not inside the building right now. So as she's about to leave, I call her Madam Jennifer, and then she's like, then she calls my name, Jambi, ni wewe. Yes, may want to see Mr. Amos. First I greeted her cordially, and then I was like, I want to see Mr. Amos. Then he's like, I've not seen him. Can you try calling him? I was like, he's not picking up my calls. Why don't you try calling him? So she tries, and at the moment, Mr. Willie does not pick up her calls too. So within this time, I'm furious. I'm just like, this cannot be happening to me, because that money is a lot of money. So we had talked with Mr. Alex. So Mr. Alex tells me, please don't let out the cat out of the bag. Now this watchman, don't let out the cat out of the bag. So to Leah, you just go with her. So me, I tell now Madam Jennifer, why don't we live together to where you're going? So she tells me she's going to their head offices. So along the way, she tells me, Sando, as in, you already know the truth. So along the way, she tells me, oh, we changed the buildings because tuliona huko tunalipa a lot of rent and it's just a small space. And the main question I even asked is, why didn't you let me know? Exactly. Especially Mr. Willie, we were supposed to meet and you did not even let me know that you're no longer in that building. Why? You guys mlitoroka na your rent. Acha kusema ati it's because we saw the space is small and the rent is very expensive. You didn't know that before coming to that building, and you had been there for a while. Exactly. Is it some of these online businesses chunganini nazo, especially as in kabla ujoin any hizo buildings zenye wako, we have watch ladies and watchmen. Talk to these people. I'm telling you, they know the inside of the business more than you do, because you're just a newbie. Exactly. You're a newbie. Talk to these people. Even I told Mr. Alex, now the watchman, this wouldn't have happened to me if I'd talked to you guys. But utari kuna mtu amekuleta, so the things were just going so fast, and right now is when I have the time to breathe and ask myself what was going on. Exactly. And now a lot of cash has gone missing already. So exactly, talk to these people. They know a lot that goes on inside those buildings more than you do, because you're newbies. So as we're going along the way, Madam Jennifer hapo nantilia uongo, the way they had seen that the rent is expensive and the space is small, so they decided to move out. My main question is, why didn't you guys inform me? Nata mkiona hii video mjue hivyo. Why didn't you guys inform me? It's very annoying, by the way. So what to mention that when we were still in the building that had gone to, Mr. Willie had sent me a text message saying that he was in a meeting and that he could not pick up my calls. So remember, now we are with Madam Jennifer, and he has left me in this building, now the head office, so that he could rush downstairs and take care of some stuff. I'm very okay with that. I'll wait for you. So as I'm seated there, 2 hours pass by, and so I call her to see whether she's still around, and she's like, she's not yet done, but she's coming. Now when she comes back with like 2 other people, and now she tells me that Mr. Awili has picked up her calls, and he has told him that he's on his way to come. Within that time, I tried calling Mr. Awili. He did not pick up my calls. I tried again. He did not pick up my calls. Remember when I said that I called him, it was not one time. I called him multiple times, and this guy did not pick up my calls. And you see that, madam? Now Jennifer claims that he has already talked to him, and he says that he's on his way. I don't know, he was at home or something of the sort. I was like, where was the meeting? Where was the meeting? Where was the meeting? I don't want to be sarcastic, by the way, but I'm like, yeah. So I stayed there. I stayed until, remember, I'd come to town at around 11. That's when my journey to come to town. Actually, it had begun at around 10:30 or 10:20 there. And now I stayed like for all that while till around 5 p.m. Around 5 to 4 p.m. And that's when I told myself, you know what, baby girl, this thing is over. You just go home. Because I waited for this guy who I was told was on his way, Mr. Willie, and he never arrived. I even asked Madam Jennifer, where is he? He's like, he's not picking my calls again. Sometimes he's speaking, he's saying he's on his way, and you should just be patient and wait for him. My friend is sat on that chair for more than 3 hours. Na sikuwa nimekula, just to remind you guys that way. So eventually, you know what I said? Let me just go back home because there's nothing more I can do here. Exactly. And even this lady, Madam Jennifer, she's just wasting my time. Who knows even whether the guy is picking the calls? Because when I tried to call him, he's not picking up. When I texted him that I'm already in town and that I'm in your offices, he did not reply to my text. What else should I listen to that way? So I went back home, very disappointed. And that's when I realized I had been scammed. And I was like, that is my first time getting scammed in Nairobi. More than 30,000 shillings. Zimeenda hivyo too. I'm still recovering from that. And I'm like, there's so much better things I could have done with that money. And also kutakwa this, okay, I will make sure to remember to upload a video talking about network marketing and whether it's the best venture. Because many people, even in that industry, are scammers. Hiyo kitu sidhani kuna pesa Kenya. Hizo vacations hadi wanasema huko anaenda. Some of them even come from very well off families. Rich kids. We hapo mtoto wa hustler. Nataka kucompare nao. I'm not discouraging you, my sister, my brother, but look for better ways to earn money. Yeah, because that thing today has a lot of scammers, and that's just not the route. After other means. These days, another means to earn money. Yeah, so remember to comment, to like, to share, and to subscribe. Love you. Ciao.